Welcome to Chanakya Mandal Parivar's UPSC online Swadhyay Mahotsav. My name is Vinayak and today we are going to deal with the subject Geography and Environment for UPSC prelims as well as mains examination. In this session we'll see what is the syllabus there's for Geography and Environment specifically for prelims and mains, and what kind of questions are there in the prelims and mains. Actually we are more bit of focusing on the mains part. Okay, generally most of the people suggest that you should read NCERTs for geography, and we are going to deal with that sources wala part later, but I'm just talking about the geography in general for the UPSC examination. Okay, in every aspect of this session we will be dealing with UPSC only. Okay, UPSC examination, so that this whole session will be about the UPSC exam preparation. Okay, so most of the people suggest that one should read NCERTs from 6th to 12th, and when you look at the questions that appear in the prelims and the mains examination, you see that those questions are not directly related to whatever that is given in the NCERTs. Okay, so you need to look too much deeper into the question so that you can somehow link that question to the whatever that is given in the NCERTs. So where does this question come from? So this is the question that is haunting many UPSC aspirants. Okay, in prelims examination sometimes people ask me that is it really worth to read NCERTs for UPSC prelims preparation? Okay, is it really worth to read specifically geography NCERTs for the prelims preparation? Okay, first thing, reading NCERT is the very basic thing that one should do. Okay, that is the very basic thing, and that is the point from where your preparation for UPSC examination starts. Okay, so no doubt one should read NCERTs cover to cover. Okay, every NCERT. Okay, that is very basic thing. Okay, so we all of us know that the nature of UPSC prelims examination and mains examination is changing, and it is changing drastically. Okay, the nature of questions, the type of questions from various segments of the UPSC syllabus, that is changing very fastly. Okay, so and if you see that during 2015, 2016, 2017, UPSC asked a lot of questions on the current affairs, directly on the current affairs, based on the current affairs, but UPSC is getting back to the basics now. Okay, so like not reading NCERT, okay, not reading NCERT for any subject is not for the debate. Okay, so no one can do that. One should read the NCERTs. Okay, that is must. But the question remains, so if you are reading NCERT, how can you utilize it to its utmost potential to solve questions in the UPSC mains examination? Okay, now we are getting we are talking specifically about the geography and environment part. Okay, we will go through the syllabus, then book list and the previous year question papers. Okay, I am focusing more on the previous year questions on geography and environment, because even though we read NCERTs, even though we read newspapers and that GC Leong wala book, but somehow we find it very difficult. Okay, as I already told you, we find it very difficult to connect what is given in the NCERTs and what kind of questions actually asked in the examination. Okay, so while dealing with those questions, I will tell you how to read NCERTs and how to connect NCERTs with the current affairs, so that you can write the most beautiful answers. Okay, and that is what the UPSC is looking for. Okay, not just correct answers but the beautiful answers. So when I am saying beautiful answers, it means it is like encompassing. It encompasses every aspect of the question, every aspect of the answer, every aspect of the problem that question is dealing with. Okay, and also some original thoughts of the candidate. Okay, that is what the assessors, that is what the examiners are looking for. Okay, UPSC questions are dealing with particular problem. Okay, and now you are going to be the officers, so UPSC expect you to think like an officer. UPSC expect you to give the practical solutions, not like practical, that UPSC cannot expect that the best possible the best practical solutions from you, but UPSC demands that this candidate should be able to cope up with the conditions, cope up with the problems that country is facing, and the nature of those problems is very different in different parts of the country. Okay, if you go into the North India, if you go into the South India or East India, the nature of problem is different. Okay, because India is such a diverse country, and now we are appearing for the all India level competition. Okay, so we should get this national vision. Okay, we should understand this country, and that understanding should be reflecting from your answers. Okay, that is what the UPSC is expecting from you. Okay, so in this session we'll be dealing with syllabus, then sources, and the previous year questions. Okay, so first, geography syllabus. First, let me tell you the number of questions on the geography in prelims examination has been reducing for last 3 to 4 years. Okay, the nature of questions in the prelims examinations are mostly map based questions. Okay, map based questions. Okay, because like UPSC is because there is one preliminary examination for Indian Civil Services and Indian Forest Services. Okay, so in preliminary examination, in that common preliminary examination, the more weightage is being given to the environment rather than geography. So you will find more questions on environment rather than geography. Okay, so so what kind of questions appear in the UPSC prelims examination are like, first, the map based questions. Okay, for last 2 to 3 years there are questions through how many states one has to pass to go from like one city in Kerala to one city in Assam. Okay, minimum number of states, maximum number of states. Or last year UPSC asked question on through which city the same longitude passes, which passes through the Delhi. Okay, this needs the thorough understanding of India's map. Okay, and in prelims examination, mostly the questions asked on geography are based on the India's map. Okay, also UPSC asked questions based on the locations of various national parks or other environmental locations. Okay, environmentally important locations. Okay, so the year before 2018, like in 2017-2016, UPSC asked question on the tributaries of rivers. Okay, so and like last year there was no question based on the this tributary of river and or anything. Okay, but the nature of questions on geography in preliminary examination, it is being very specific. Okay, it is being very specific, and that weightage, the more weightage is being given to the environment questions. Okay, so like we mainly focus on the mains question, because as the number of questions are reducing in the preliminary examination, geography questions are the number of geography questions are reducing in the preliminary examination, but that is being compensated by the number of questions, by the marks for the geography questions in mains examination. Okay, so the number of the marks for the geography in UPSC mains examination, that is in GS1 paper, it is in the range of 80 to 90. Okay, that is quite substantial number. Okay, so you cannot neglect the geography subject as far as the mains examination is considered. Okay, in prelims you can like get away with the study, the proper study of environment examination, but in the mains examination you have to study the geography, and every year there is at least one question based on the pure geography, basic geography, okay, and other questions are based on the geography and the various subjects related to geography, okay. First let me tell you, geography is not an isolated subject, okay. Geography deals with various subjects. Geography, we can call it an interdisciplinary subject, okay. If you take the sociology, there's geography. If you take the international relation, there's geography, okay. I will explain that afterwards, how this geography is important from international relations perspective, how this is important from environmental perspective, how this is different from societal perspective, okay. We'll deal with that later, okay. First we'll go through the syllabus, okay. First prelims, very brief syllabus, very brief note that they have given, that is Indian and world geography, physical, social, economic geography of India and the world, very vague, okay. So it means they can ask anything, okay. So in mains they are being little specific in mains, okay. Little specific means as compared to prelims syllabus, they are little specific in mains, okay. Distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and the Indian subcontinent, okay. Factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector industries in various parts of the world, including India, okay. When we go through the previous year questions, you will get to understand that UPSC is always stick to the syllabus, okay. Somehow they stick to the syllabus. The questions that appear in the examination are somehow related to the syllabus, okay. So very important, you need to keep the copy of syllabus with you and the previous year question papers with you, so that you can make your studies more sharpened, okay. You can understand what to study and on which subject, on which topics you have to focus more, okay. At the end of the day, you have to practice a lot of questions, okay. You have to write a lot. You can excel at any subject unless and until you write it down. That subject go through your writing, okay, and without that you cannot excel at any subject, okay. Then important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, geographical features and their location changes in critical geographical features, flora and fauna effects, okay. So this part of syllabus is directly related to NCERT, okay. Whatever you read in NCERT, those topics, okay, that material is related to this part of syllabus, okay. Upper part, that first part, that is distribution of key natural resources, that is not directly related to the NCERTs, that physical geography will NCERT, okay. But to tackle this part of syllabus, you need to be very well conversant with the newspaper, okay. Now we'll get to the sources, okay. So the suggestion given by everybody for studying the geography, that the common suggestion is one should read the NCERTs from 6th to 12th standard, but in these NCERTs you need to focus a lot on the 11th standard NCERT and 12th standard NCERT, okay. Without that you cannot say that you have studied the geography subject. So you simply cannot, because those NCERTs makes the foundation of your geography studies, okay. That is why those NCERTs are very important. I know some that first, at least this specifically this NCERT, okay, 11th standard physical geography NCERT, some part of it is quite boring, okay, very boring, that rock formation wala part and first part. But till 2015 UPSC used to ask direct question from that part, okay. Once UPSC asked question on the monsoon mechanism, okay, so you have to read that, okay. There's no option for that, okay. But sometimes people say that now UPSC has changed. UPSC is asking UPSC asked only one question on physical geography, but UPSC is always unpredictable. UPSC is always ready to surprise you on the D-Day, so you cannot take any risks. Okay, and generally the question based on the physical geography, question based on the basic geography, those questions are for 15 marks, so you cannot risk those 15 marks. Okay, because you have a time, and these NCERTs can be read within like 1 or 2 days. Okay, 1 or 2 days, that's it. So you have to read these NCERTs so that you won't be regretting after the prelims or mains that I should have read those NCERTs. So get get those NCERTs read by you, so that you will be well conversant with the concepts of basic geography. Then India physical geography, this is quite smaller than the first one NCERT. Then fundamentals of human geography, India, people and economy. Okay, these two 11th standard NCERTs deal with the physical geography. Okay, and these two, like 3rd and 4th, these two deal with the human geography. Okay, now this fifth book, okay, natural hazards and disaster management, okay, 11th standard book, this supplementary CBSE book. Okay, most of the students does not know about this NCERT, but this NCERT comes very handy. Okay, when you deal with the disaster management well apart. Okay, because in those questions, you need to give the definitions. Okay, for example, in this book they have given the various definitions of like disaster, what is vulnerability. Okay, so in basic NCERT, while answering the questions based on the basic geography, first you should give the definitions of various terminologies in that question. Okay, so what is disaster, then what is hazard, what is this vulnerability. Okay, like one should clear those terminologies in first part of the NCERT, first part of your answer. And why that is important? Because your general studies paper, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, these papers are assessed by the generalist, not the specialist. Okay, your optional subject papers will be assessed by the expert in those fields. Okay, geography optional paper will be assessed by some expert faculties in geography subject, but the person who assess your general studies paper, okay, those are generalist. Okay, you should make your you should make sure that your answers are as lucid as possible. Okay, there should not be any doubt after reading your answer. Okay, because that assessor, the person who is going to check your answer sheet, that person does not know you. Okay, like the 200 words that you have written, that is the only thing that represents you. Okay, that is the only thing that represents you. So you need to make those 200 words as comprehensive as possible. You need to make those 200 words as easy as possible to be understood by the assessor. Okay, and that needs very like practice, and that is very important. Okay, so like while reading these 4 NCERTs and other 6 to 10 standard NCERTs, you should read this NCERT too. Okay, you should not neglect this book, CBSE book. Okay, and very small book, you can get it done within a day. Okay, just make sure that you highlight the definition, you highlight the important statistics given in it. Okay. Then this G.C. Leong, Certificate Physical Human Geography by G.C. Leong. This book is also very important. You cannot neglect this book. Okay, as I have said earlier, that reading NCERT is quintessential exercise of UPSC preparation. Okay, so reading this G.C. Leong is also quintessential. It should be the quintessential part of your UPSC preparation. Okay, that is very interesting book, and it clears many concepts. Also, there were few questions directly taken from this G.C. Leong book. Okay, in 2015 UPSC asked a direct question from G.C. Leong that why most of the deserts are situated on the western side of continents. Okay, this question is directly taken from the G.C. Leong exercise part. Okay, so you should read this book thoroughly, but the language of this book is little bit difficult than NCERT. Okay, so sometimes the aspirants find it difficult to understand this book. Okay, so what you should do, you should read these NCERTs first and then go for G.C. Leong. I am saying the word should because that is very important. Okay, one should do this so that the preparation for the UPSC examination will be comprehensive. Okay, you can tackle any type of question with this much basic preparation. Okay, then newspaper, The Hindu and Live Mint. Okay, so The Hindu is important for physical geography. Also, it covers a lot of part of human geography also, various reports, indices, and some geographic events. Okay, so The Hindu is very important. Also, Live Mint is important because Live Mint extensively covers part of human geography. Okay, the articles that is given in the this Live Mint, this Live Mint newspaper is not available in physical form. It is you should visit the website of Live Mint, where you can find the very innovative articles, very good articles based on the human geography. Actually, this Live Mint actually covers the part of economy extensively. It extensively covers the economy, but the various factors which affect economy is also part of geography. Okay, it is part of economic geography. Like in the economic geography, transportation, infrastructure development, and other parts, okay, which deals with the economy, okay, they are also part of geography, especially part of human geography. Okay, so one should I would recommend that one should read this. And the magazine, Down to Earth, the best magazine. Okay, it is fortnightly. Okay, in this Down to Earth magazine, they cover geographic and environmental issues very extensively, and the articles are very brief, not very long, not too short, but of optimum length, optimum size. Okay, because I'm telling you about the length because when you are preparing for this competitive examination, you are short on time. Always you are short on time. Okay, so why? Because there are many subjects. You have to study a lot of subjects. Okay, and also you have to practice. Okay, you have to practice a lot. Therefore, you need to there should be a condition where you need to read small passages, small articles, and you can utilize on various scales. Means like you read one article and you can use data from that article in GS1, GS2 or GS3. Okay, so you always try to you always try to make most out of the data that you read anywhere, and especially this down to earth articles are very beneficial. So one should I would strongly recommend that one should read this fortnightly Down to Earth. Okay, and the website, okay, PMFIS. Okay, generally the geographic concept, people find it difficult to imagine, people find it difficult to picture those phenomena. Okay, very difficult. They find it very difficult, and therefore they find it difficult to understand the concept of geography. Okay, so what one can do is try to see the simulations, try to see the animations. Okay, and that exercise will help you to understand geographic concept. Okay, and for that purpose I would recommend this PMFIS, and this website covers a major portion of geography syllabus. Okay, now we'll deal with this previous year questions. Okay, when you go through the previous year questions, you will find that none of this question has anything to do directly with the NCERTs, but these questions are there in the UPSC mains examination. Okay, so how to tackle these questions, how to deal with these questions, how to answer these questions so you can fetch more and more marks. Okay, so before going into that, so look at the distribution of questions on the geography. This distribution of questions is from 2013 to 2018. Okay, most number of questions asked on the climate. Okay, most number of questions are asked on the climate. 150 marks questions are asked in these 5 to 6 years on the climate. Okay, and these resources also 137, and the least number of questions are asked on the disaster. Okay, there are 1 or 2 questions are there on the disaster management. Okay, and you can tackle this part, disaster management, from 2 sources. First, the book which I already told you, this supplementary, this Natural Hazard and Disaster Management 11th Standard Supplementary CBSE book. Okay, where you can get the authentic definitions of various terminologies related to disaster, and also you can cover a lot of ground relating to disaster from newspaper, especially the Hindu. Okay, so understand first, while before going into the details, okay, one should understand that on which part UPSC is asking more and more number of questions. Okay, so try to understand the cost benefit ratio. Okay, try to understand the cost benefit ratio. You can clearly see the there is a less weightage to physical geography. Okay, only during the last 6 years, only questions for 70 marks, okay, asked based on the physical geography. Okay, so you can give it less time as compared to other topics. Okay, so you can focus more on other topics, and that will be compensated by the you can fetch more marks in other parts of the geography rather than the physical geography. Okay, so okay, before going into directly into the question, I have heard a lot of times that many people find the geography subject quite boring. Okay, so why does this happen? Because they read the NCERTs and they find it boring because that is very static part. Okay, so they cannot understand its significance because they are not interested in that. Okay, so if you want to study this geography subject, if you want to score more in GS1 paper, you need to create an interest for the geography subject. Okay, you need to do that, and for that purpose you can you can study various case studies given in the Down to Earth magazine. Okay, I will tell you one case study from the Down to Earth magazine. Okay, they went into the Rajasthan for a survey regarding relationship between climate change, okay, then land fragmentation, okay, land fragmentation, and polyandry. Okay, polyandry, this is one of the social issues. Okay, there's one village in the Rajasthan which has very less sex ratio. Okay, around 8:13. Okay, around 8:13, and that village, okay, that village faces the issue of polyandry. Okay, polyandry means what? Okay, you people know about the practice of polygamy. Okay, polygamy means what? Like for one male there are that person has more than one wife. Okay, that is the practice of polygamy. Okay, in case of polyandry, it is exactly opposite of it. Okay, there's one wife between 2 or 3 males. Okay, 2 or 3 husbands. Okay, that is the practice of polyandry. So how these 3 things are related? Okay, so what happened in that village? Okay, there were various landholders, bigger landholders, okay, zamindars. Okay, they had the hundreds of acres of land in their name. Okay, so that land was fragmented between their their children. Let's say there was 100-acre land. It was fragmented between that was distributed between 3 children, okay, 30, 30, 33, 33, 33, okay. Again, that is fragmented between his heirs, okay, his or her heirs, okay. So at the end of the day, okay, today that 100-acre has been divided into so many children, so many heirs, okay. So there's very less land, okay. The land holding is very less in each heir's name, okay. So in that particular village, the average land holding is 1.4 hectares. That is very less land, okay, very less land, okay. And because of climate change, because of increased irregularity of rainfall, the land productivity has also been reduced, okay. So that particular family, okay, has to survive on that very small piece of land, okay. So and it is quite impossible to survive on that small patch of land because of very small land holding and the vagaries of climate change, the vagaries of the monsoon, Indian monsoon, okay. So what happens, if there are 2 brothers, okay, only one of them get married, okay, and that wife is they say one brother sacrifices his married life for the sake of the family, okay. But there is informal arrangement of that one wife between 2 brothers, okay. This case study was there in the Down to Earth magazine, okay. So you can see how the climate change, okay, this climate change has infuriated or giving boost to ill practices, ill social practices in the picture, okay, in the Indian society. So while studying this various case studies, you can generate the interest for the subject, okay. And that happens with a lot of students, okay. First they study case studies and then they go for the basics, okay, in the NCERTs, okay. So now we'll go through various questions that has been asked in the previous year, okay. In 2018 they asked question related to IRNSS, okay, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. Why is Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System is needed and how does it help in navigation, okay. This was the question in 2018, okay. First you need to understand the relevance of question, why this question was asked in 2018, because last year ISRO launched the last satellite in the constellation of IRNSS, okay, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. This system is constellation of 7 satellites, okay. Last year the 7th satellite was launched, okay, and this year UPSC asked question on it, okay. So what is the need of this indigenous navigation satellite system, okay, because this need was felt during 1998 Kargil war, okay. During that era, during those years, Indian military was using global positioning system, okay. It means the movement of Indian military could be tracked by the person who was monitoring the GPS, okay, and that is obviously US, and that system can be used against India. And if you know that, I think everybody knows about the complexity of digital world today, okay. It is very important that one should have the isolated navigation satellite system for every country, so that the military arrangements, okay, the military arrangements could be made such that, okay. So if Indian military has its own navigation satellite system, India can maneuver its military, its military, navy, air force on its own, and that cannot be tracked by the other countries, and that cannot be used against India. Okay, that is the original idea before developing this India's navigation satellite system. Okay, and there is an argument that this IRNSS is more accurate than the GPS. Okay, so let me ask you one question. GPS has the constellation of around 24 satellites. Okay, while this IRNSS uses only 7 satellites. So how come this India's IRNSS is more accurate than the GPS? Okay, that is not related to this question, but these questions makes the study of this geography subject more interesting. Okay, and the answer to this is very logical, because this GPS with 24 satellites covers the whole Earth. Okay, while this IRNSS covers only India. Okay, and the range of IRNSS is 1500 kilometers beyond Indian borderline. Okay, so it means the 7 satellite only for this much constricted area, okay, restricted area, while those 24 satellites has to cover the whole Earth. Okay, that's why we can say that IRNSS is more accurate than the GPS. Okay, and how does it help in navigation? There are 2 types, okay, in the service that is provided by IRNSS. One is the for restricted purpose, and 2 for general purpose. Okay, for restricted purpose it is used only in the military or navy. Okay, and it cannot be accessed by the general public, while this the IRNSS for the general public, it can be accessed by the it can be accessed for the vehicular navigation also. Okay, that is the application, the very basic application of IRNSS. That is the very basic idea of developing India's own navigation satellite system. Then the second question: how does this Juno mission of NASA help to understand the origin and evolution of Earth? Okay. While answering this question, one should first know what is this Juno mission. Okay, you need to give the introduction. Okay, so generally people tell how to write an answer, give introduction, the main crux of the answer, okay, and the conclusion. Okay, so in the introduction one should mention the relevance of question, so that the assessor, the examiner, can understand that this candidate, this aspirant has understood the relevance of question. The person knows the core question, the core of the question. Okay, that is declared, that can be declared during the first 30 words. Okay, and that introduction should not exceed the word limit of 30 or 40. Okay, because the rest of the words you have to use to give exact answer of that question. Okay, so what will be the introduction of question? Okay, what will be the introduction of your answer? That what is this Juno mission? Okay, after that, what are the objectives of Juno mission? Okay, in this first one should know that Juno mission is for the Jupiter. Okay, this is the expedition on Jupiter, and with this Juno mission the NASA is trying to understand the atmosphere of Jupiter. Okay, trying to understand the composition of atmosphere, temperature, and how it is different from the Earth. Okay, but while studying the Jupiter, after the comparative study, we can understand how the Earth is evolved, how the Earth was evolved, how the atmosphere of Earth was evolved over the time. Okay, so there are different areas in which this Jupiter was going to study the this Juno mission was going to study the Jupiter. First is the atmosphere, the composition of atmosphere, the various gases that are there in the Jupiter's atmosphere, then gravitational field of Jupiter, then magnetic field of Jupiter. Okay, these are the areas which are focused in the Juno mission. So how is this study, how is this Juno mission is going to understand the Earth's origin? Okay, first you might have studied, if you have read the NCERT 11th standard physical geography NCERT, you might have read about the concept of degassing. Okay, degassing. In this degassing, what happened, because of the lesser distance between sun and earth, the hydrogen gas was stripped off the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, and because of this process, because of stripping of the hydrogen gas, there was the process of degassing, where the Earth's interior structure was made. Okay, there are different layers in the Earth structure, that is Earth crust, then Earth mantle, and the core. Okay, these three distinct layers were prepared because of the process of degassing. Okay, but because of the more distance between Jupiter and Sun, there was no stripping off of these gases, this hydrogen and nitrogen. So hydrogen and helium. So we can understand the how the absence of degassing process made the Jupiter's atmosphere different from the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, that is one of the thing because of which we can understand by the comparative study the difference between Jupiter's atmosphere and Earth's atmosphere. Then because of extreme pressure on the Jupiter, the hydrogen gas and helium turned into the liquid and created the oceans of those gases. Okay, this phenomena will help us understand the Earth's atmosphere origin. Okay, because of again I'm using those terminologies, the comparative study of the Jupiter's atmosphere and Earth's atmosphere, we can understand the how Earth's atmosphere was created, how Earth's atmosphere originated. Okay, then Jupiter has the immense influence of its gravity on the other planets also. Okay, so by studying the Jupiter's gravitational field, we can understand the how Earth rotates around the sun, and how Earth's gravitational field and Jupiter's gravitational field affects the Earth's orbit, circular elliptical orbit around the sun. Okay, then magnetism of Earth, as we can see the aurora on the Earth's in the Earth's polar region. Okay, aurora borealis and aurora australis. There is aurora on the Jupiter also. Okay, so by the comparative analysis, we can understand how this aurora is formed on the Earth. Okay, this is what you have to write in the answer. Okay, that examiner has been provided with the checklist. Okay, and that examiner is looking for the points, only points in the answer. That examiner does not go that deep into the answer. Okay, that is he or she is just looking for the points, and you have to give as many points as possible in your answer. Okay, and that is why that is what I am emphasizing. Okay, like you have to give as many points as possible in the answer, and you have to explain the relevance of question in the very first part of the answer. Okay, and that will fetch you more and more mark to you. Okay, then the Himalayas are highly prone to landslide. Discuss the causes and suggest suitable measures for its mitigation. Okay, first, this question is related to current affairs. Okay, this question was asked I think in 2017 or 2016, I guess in 2017. Okay, this Himalayas are highly prone to landslides. First, you need to define the concept of landslide. Okay, what is the landslide? Okay, and that is directly given in the book which I just told you, that disaster management wala book. Okay, you have to define that phenomena first. Okay, then why the Himalayas are highly prone to landslide? Okay, in NCERT they have given the comparison between landslides, the frequency of landslides in Western Ghats and Himalaya, and in here they have specifically asked about the phenomena of landslide in Himalayan region. Okay, there are a lot of points. First, the rainfall. Okay, in the southern part of Himalaya, in eastern Himalaya and in the southern part of Himalaya, there's more amount of rainfall. Okay, because of that, the soil in that Himalayan region, it becomes saturated. Okay, as it becomes saturated, it cannot hold more water into it, and so the saturated soil strips off the slope. Okay, these are the Himalayan region. Okay, as this soil on these slopes becomes saturated, it comes down. Okay, it comes down, which makes the Himalayan slope structure weaker. Okay, so it increases the possibility of landslide in that region. Okay, and then because of the infrastructure development, or because of the process of urbanization, okay, because of these reasons, the soil structure in that area is becoming more and more weak. Okay, that is one of the reason for increasing number of landslides in that region, in the Himalayan region. Okay, then another one that I told you about the urbanization, the burden of tourism in that area. Okay, there was a flood. Okay, the disastrous flood in the Uttarakhand. Okay, and the reason for that flood, the major reason for that flood was cited as the increasing burden of tourism. Okay, because of increasing tourism, more and more infrastructure was developed in order to support the tourism. Okay, so that they had to cut down many trees. And they had to there was a lesser forest which earlier used to hold the soil structure in its place. Okay, but as the more and more trees were cut down, there was the lesser binding material, the lesser binding medium in that region, which earlier used to bind the soil structure in its place. Okay, now as there are no forests, as there are less number of forests, the possibility, the incidence of landslides are increasing. Okay, so you can enumerate as many reasons possible for this increasing incidence of the landslide in this region. Okay, then agriculture. Okay, for the agriculture, people cut down more number of trees. Okay, so just to clear the land, and so that they can increase the agricultural land. Okay, because of that also we are changing the land use. Okay, we are changing the land use, so that it is quite difficult for nature to adapt with these changes. Okay, so what happens is the landslide, flood and other incidents. Okay, in this question they have also asked about the mitigation measures. Okay, mitigation efforts. So what can we do? First, creating the infrastructure which will keep the soil in its original place. Okay, it won't let go the soil from its original place, so that there will be less incidents of landslide or other disasters. Okay, there is one report given by NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, and that report is specifically about landslide hazard mitigation. Okay, now this is one of the important part, one of the important aspect of answer writing, that while making some arguments, okay, one should make the proper substantiation. Okay, proper substantiation. You should support your argument with stats, with reports. Okay, now in this report they have given lots of recommendations in order to deal with the problem of landslide in Himalayan region. Okay, so you should cite the name of this report in your answer, which improves the authenticity of your answer. Okay, Now let's go to the another question. Okay, why are the world's folded mountain system located along the margins of continent? Okay, bring out the association between global distribution of folded mountains and the earthquake and volcanoes. Okay, in this question, okay, this is the pure geography question. Okay, pure geography questions, you need to draw the map. Okay, you need to draw the map, so that in, okay, this is the world map. On this map you should show various folded mountains. Okay, they have given this is the given that folded mountain systems are located on the margins of continent. First you need to prove this argument, you need to prove this statement. Okay, why? First you need to show on the map that the folded mountains, the major folded mountains are situated on the coasts, okay, coastal area or the margins of continent. For example, in this region, okay, there are Rockies mountain, okay, here Andes mountain, okay, here Atlas mountain, okay, in India Himalayan mountain, Alps mountain. Okay, this proves the fact, this proves the statement given in the question. Okay, now you go to the core of the question. Okay, in this question they have asked about why most of the folded mountains are situated on the margins of continent. For example, in Himalayan region, Himalaya is situated on the what can we say, the convergent boundary between this Indian plate and the Eurasian plate. Okay, so Indian plate is moving towards Eurasian plate. Okay, and Eurasian plate is quite big, therefore this Himalayan mountain, this folded mountain is created on this margin. Okay, so you can give that argument over here. Okay, and bring out the association between global distribution of folded mountains and earthquake and volcanoes. Okay, Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, Pacific Ring of Fire. In this map only, okay, when you draw this map, you show these folded mountains and you have to locate, you have to show the Pacific Ring of Fire in this map only. Okay, so while doing that, you substantiate, you corroborate the statement given in the question, and also you can make this diagram as self-explanatory as possible. So you have to write less number of words and your answer will become self-explanatory by drawing self-explanatory diagram. Okay, try to make it as comprehensive as possible. Okay, this will fetch you more marks and you have to write lesser number of words. Okay, now the other type of question that appeared in the UPSC mains examination is climate disaster related. Okay, what are the consequences of spreading of dead zones on the marine ecosystem? Okay, why this question was there in 2018 UPSC mains examination? Because there was a news and which prominently appeared in the Hindu newspaper that the dead zone in the Indian Ocean region is spreading at alarming rate. Okay, this was the news and UPSC asked question based on the news behind the news. Okay, the issue is dead zone. Okay, that is the issue. Okay, that is the issue, dead zone in marine ecosystem, and the news is this area of dead zone is increasing in the Indian Ocean. This is the news. Okay, first in you can give this news, you can give the relevance of this news in your answer. Okay, then you can define the dead zone. What is dead zone? Okay, once you do that, then you go to the reasoning. Okay, like directly hitting the core of this question. What are the consequences of spreading dead zone on marine ecosystem? Okay, and before that, you within like 30 or 40 words, you can give the reasons for formation of dead zone. First define dead zone and reasons. Okay, like plastic pollution, then increasing number of oil spillages. Okay, these reasons. Okay, and then hit the direct core of the question, consequences of spreading dead zones. Okay, once you give that, and in this part, in this core of the answer, you have to give as many points as possible. Okay, as many points as possible. First, like general, we can say that there are a lot of countries, okay, there are a lot of indigenous tribe in various countries are directly dependent on the ocean, okay, and as the dead zones are increasing, okay, dead zones increases, which means it affects the marine life, it affects the fish production, it affects the basis, it affects the marine flora on which these fish are feeding, okay. As the dead zones, in the dead zones, the direct contact, the direct oxygenation process, the dissolution of oxygen in water, this process stops, okay. So the flora and fauna in that particular dead zone, that ecosystem dies out, okay. So the people who are dependent on that ecosystem, that source of livelihood, it removes, okay. So it removes out of that the economy of that particular country, okay. That is the major consequence of this increasing dead zone in marine ecosystem, okay. And you can give number of consequences also. Then the mention the advantages of cultivation of pulse, because of which the year 2016 was declared as the International Year of Pulses by United Nations. In 2016, that particular year was declared as the International Year of the Pulses, okay. This question, in the question only they have given its relevance, okay. United Nation declared 2016 as the Year of Pulses, okay, that is given. Now you have to do, what you have to do is give as many advantages as possible in the answer, okay. You have to give at least 5 to 6, okay. So you can fetch more marks, okay. India is the leading producer of pulses, okay. So first give the benefits of pulses, okay. It is protein rich, it then fiber rich, it gives like more number of vitamins. So and along with that, it is cheap. The poor people can afford it. Poor people cannot afford the dairy products, okay. It is quite out of their reach, okay. So they can get as many vitamins, as many proteins as possible from the this pulses, okay. First, second, the these pulses are climate resilient, okay. In this era of global warming, in this era of climate change, that the environment is not as conducive as it earlier was, okay. So those crops has to be climate resilient, okay, climate resilient, so that this pulses creates the alternative for other crops. These pulses can be grown in poor soil, it can tolerate the higher temperature, okay. So the countries, the developing countries, can invest a lot on the cultivation of pulses, okay. Along with that, these pulses are important for the process of nitrogen fixation, okay, process of nitrogen fixation. So it reduces the need of synthetic fertilizers, okay. Along with that, it also frees up the phosphorus, trapped in the soil, okay. Both of these points reduces the amount of the synthetic fertilizers required, okay. These are many points which you can write in order to fetch more marks in that in this question, okay. Then resource distribution, you have seen in that pie chart there are a lot of questions based on the resource distribution, okay. Why is India taking keen interest in the resources of Arctic region, okay. Okay, before that there was a question related to cryosphere. Okay, how does the cryosphere affect global climate? Okay, first you need to define the cryosphere. What is cryosphere? It includes snow, glacier, river and lake. Okay, this cryosphere has high albedo effect. Okay, it offers high albedo effect. Albedo effect means it reflects more amount of insolation back into the atmosphere. Okay, because of that the Earth's surface can be is remain at the cooler temperature. Okay, first this high albedo effect, and because of cryosphere, because of losing of the cryosphere. And why we are losing cryosphere? Because of global warming, the ice is melting, the snow is melting, the amount of snow cover, it is receding. Okay, because of that the albedo effect, it is taking a big hit. Okay, because of reducing ice, the more number of insulation is being absorbed by the Earth's surface. Okay, and because of increasing amount of absorbed insulation, the more and more amount of ice is melting. Okay, so Earth is becoming hotter and hotter. Okay, that's the feedback loop. That phenomena is called, okay, sorry, feedback loop. Okay, as more and more ice is melting, it is reducing the albedo effect. Okay, which penultimately resulting into the increasing temperature of Earth. Okay, and as Earth's temperature increases, we all of us know about its consequences. Okay, then we go to this next part. Why is India? Next question: why is India taking keen interest in the resources of Arctic region? This question is directly related to the current affairs. Okay, because in 2013 India received the observer membership of Arctic Council. Okay, actually Arctic Council is closed member group. Okay, the members of Arctic Council are literal states, the countries which are on the borders of Arctic. Only those countries can be the member of Arctic Council, but India, China, South Korea, these countries became the observer member of the Arctic Council. But many experts said that the reason for acquiring the observer membership of the Arctic Council is not just restricted to the research purpose. It goes beyond that. Okay, the reason for that includes the strategic reasons also. Strategic reasons. Okay, and why is that? Because of melting ice in the Arctic region. Because of melting ice in the Arctic region, the resources in the Arctic region are up for grabs. Okay, so many countries are claiming their rights over the resources in Arctic region by the virtue of concept of global commons. Okay, people believe that resources in Arctic region are open for everybody. Okay, so India became the observer member of Arctic Council, and India is trying to be the member, the major party in this agenda setting capability. Okay, this one new term. Okay, this agenda setting capability, this terminology is important in international affairs. Okay, as there are many countries are trying to get their hands on resources in Arctic region, India is also trying that. India is shifting from scientific agenda to strategic agenda. Okay, India is trying to be important from that perspective. Okay, also recently India imported LNG, okay, liquid natural gas from Russia, okay, from Russia. So India is trying to complete its commitment to shifting to renewable energy sources. Okay, India is shifting from hydrocarbon energy sources to renewable energy sources such as this liquid nitrogen gases, and these nitrogen gases are India is importing from Russia. Okay, in order to improve India's relationship so that India can take most of the benefits out of the available resources in Arctic region, India is trying to improve its relationship with the South Korea also. Okay, so this is the interesting part of geography. Okay, geography does not only deal with the earthquake, tsunami. No, that geography is not restricted to that. Geography is related to other subjects also. Okay, this question that why India is taking keen interest in the resources of Arctic region, this question deals with the various aspects of geography, international relation, geopolitical relations. Okay, and there are other parts of also, for example, okay, there was a summit, okay, high altitude summit. There was a high altitude summit in Arctic region, okay, which was the meet of indigenous people of Arctic region and Himalayan region. Arctic region and Himalayan region. Okay, in this question, this question is specifically about the resources in Arctic region. Okay, but also there are some concerns regarding environmental perspective, which we need to take care of, and this is the step taken in order to conserve the resources available in the Himalayan region and the Arctic region, because there are like more similarities between Arctic region and Himalayan region, and both areas are taking hit because of global warming, because of the phenomena of global warming. Okay, because of phenomena of global warming, and these two people, okay, in indigenous people from Arctic region and Himalayan region have come together and trying to come up with some solution so that they can fight off the problem of climate change. Okay. Then South China Sea has assumed the great geopolitical significance in the present context. Okay, I have already told you about the importance of geography in the international relations. Okay, this South China Sea, with this South China Sea, first you need to draw the map where you show the location of South China Sea, so that you can make that diagram more self-explanatory, so that you have to convey your answer in less possible words. Okay, so in that South China Sea there are different angles involved, such as the polymetallic nodules and some other resources that are being found in the South China Sea. Okay, and because of various resources available in the South China Sea, China is trying to assert its power in South China Sea. China is dominating in that region. Okay, so what are the reasons for that? And like there are numerous reasons, there are number of reasons, and one of the important reason is the resources available in that region. Okay, you have to first you have to draw the map, you have to show the location of exact location of South China Sea and enumerate various reasons for that. Then enumerate the problems and prospect of inland water transport in India. Okay, in 2016 mains they asked many questions on the inland waterways. Okay, in UPSC mains geography optional, okay, in there also UPSC asked question on inland water transport. Okay, because that year government came up with the inland waterways bill. Okay, government was trying to declare 110 inland waterways in India. Okay, so what are the problems and prospects of inland water transport? Water transport is considered as the cheapest source of transport available. Okay, and via water transport we can transport a lot of tonnage of goods from one part of country to another part of country. China and USA take a lot of benefit of inland waterways. Okay, India is still has not tapped this inland waterways to its utmost potential. Okay, so for that purpose, in order to tap the utmost potential out of this inland waterways, government came up with the inland waterways bill. Okay, so what are the problems regarding that? You have to enumerate those. Okay, and first, while explaining the relevance of that question, you need to mention about the inland waterways bill in that. Okay, states of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand reaching the limits of their ecological carrying capacity due to tourism. Okay, I have explained this the problem of tourism in Himalayan region. I have explained it to you earlier also. Okay, you have to mention the incidents, okay, which are the result of this burdening of tourism on the Himalayan ecosystem. Okay, you have to explain that through examples first. Okay, then you can go to the core of this question. Okay, so I think this is much about the geography. Okay, now before going to the environment, let me tell you there are some possible areas on which this year UPSC might ask question. Okay, for example, regarding urbanization. Okay, already like UPSC every year asks question regarding urbanization, but why this year this is the most we can expect a question on this urbanization? Because this World Urbanization Prospect Report 2018 was released recently, and in that report they said that New Delhi can become world's most populous city by 2028. Okay, this is the fact, this is the news. Now how UPSC can frame question based on this fact? You have to think in that manner. Okay, you have to think in that manner. What might be UPSC thinking regarding this fact? Okay, so you need to relate this news with the syllabus. Okay, you need to relate this news with the topics of syllabus as the urbanization. Okay, so when you take this news, you can create lots of questions. For example, how we need to change, how we need to plan the urbanization in New Delhi so that we can accommodate this burgeoning population in that. Okay, how this population, what kind of challenges this population might create, okay, for the urbanization process. Okay, in India we see the peculiar phenomena of urbanization, urban sprawling. Okay, where urban areas are spreading without following any particular pattern. Okay, the satellite cities around the New Delhi like Noida or Gurugram, okay, these cities are becoming hub for various industries. Okay, but this burgeoning population, this increasing population is creating a burden on existing infrastructure, and as we can see from this fact that this population, this New Delhi is going to be the world's most populous city. So imagine the burden of this population on the existing infrastructure. So we need to understand how government needs to create a plan so that they can accommodate this burgeoning population. Okay, then flood problem, this river basin authority, flash flood, etc. Okay, because the problems of floods in Maharashtra, Kerala recently, means yesterday only there was a news regarding floods in Godavari in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so regarding that river basin development authority, what precautions we need to create regarding the development, the construction in river basin area. Okay, there is a floods, there are flood condition, there was a flood condition in Sangli, Kolhapur in Maharashtra in 2005 also. Okay, during those days in 2005 one committee was appointed regarding exploring the reasons behind flood conditions in Sangli and Kolhapur in Maharashtra. Okay, they emphasized or they highlighted the fact that breaking the rules regarding infrastructure development in river basin, that is the major reason for those disastrous floods in 2005. Today also, in this year also, that is the main reason for disastrous flood in that region. Okay, you need to highlight these areas. You need to highlight the reasons for increasing frequency of floods. Okay, there was cases of flash floods in various urban areas in India. Also, there was cases of flash flood in Rajasthan, in Gujarat. Okay, what are the reasons? What are the reasons behind this flash flood? What are the reasons behind the increasing frequency of flash floods? Okay, also there was a case of increasing instances of tropical cyclones in India. There was a phenomena of reversal of Fani cyclone. Okay, the cyclone Fani, as compared to earlier tropical cyclones, this year's Fani cyclone was quite disastrous. Okay, so what are the reasons behind this? Okay, that is the potential question UPSC might ask regarding. So you need to cover various angles regarding it. Okay, and then importance of geopolitical location. Okay, this year there was a summit regarding Caspian Sea agreement. Okay, so you need to understand what is the controversy regarding Caspian Sea. You need to understand that. Okay, let me tell you briefly. Okay, first, there is no agreement whether this Caspian is a sea or a lake. Okay, so what difference does it make? What difference does it make if it's a sea or a lake? Okay, let me tell you what difference does it make. If it is declared as a sea, if Caspian is declared as a sea, the resources which are available in Caspian Sea, those resources will be distributed among these 5 countries: this Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Azerbaijan and Iran, according to the length of the shore, the length of the coastline each countries have with the Caspian Sea. Okay, for example, Russia has, let's say, 1000 kilometer. This Azerbaijan has, say, let's say 500 kilometer. Iran has, let's say 700 kilometer. Okay, so the resources will be distributed in that proportion, in the proportion of the length of coastlines these countries have got with the Caspian Sea. And if this Caspian Sea is declared as a lake, then all the natural resources available in the Caspian Sea will be distributed equally among these 5 countries. Okay, so this is the case, and there are a lot of issues related to this also. Okay, regarding the exploitation of the natural resources available in the Caspian Sea and many more. Okay, so UPSC can ask question related to this Caspian Sea agreement also. What is the significance of Caspian Sea agreement and other factors? Okay, in international relation also they can ask question on this. In geography also they can ask question on this. Okay, recently this International Seabed Authority (ISA) extended India's rights to extract polymetallic nodules from Central Indian Ocean Basin. Okay, a Central Indian Ocean. Okay, so what is the significance of this? So what you need to know what are the polymetallic nodules first. Okay, then you can go writing the significance of this news, that extending India's rights to extract polymetallic nodules from Central Indian Ocean. Okay, now we go to the subject, this environment. This environment is very important from prelims perspective. as I already told you, that UPSC has a common preliminary examination from Indian civil services and this Indian forest services. So there are more number of questions on environment in preliminary examination. Okay, so you have to be thorough with this environment subject in prelims as well as in mains. Okay, first this general issues regarding environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change, and that do not require subject specialization. Okay, you have to remember this every time while you writing answer for the general studies paper. You have to always remember that these papers will be assessed by the generalist. Okay, by the generalist, and you don't have to be expert in those subjects. You just have to be aware of the ongoing progress regarding those subjects and the basics of that subject. That's it. Okay, that's what you are supposed to do in prelims examination. You have to be aware of various concepts regarding environment, various establishments regarding environment, national parks in the India, then biodiversity hotspots, and these things. Okay, you have to be thorough with this. Okay, and in mains they have given conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, and environmental impact assessment. They are very brief regarding the syllabus for environment in the for the environment. Okay, but the questions that you see in the mains examinations are quite open-ended. Okay, quite open-ended. They are not directly related to the syllabus, but you can see this conservation, environmental pollution, and degradation. These topics are also open-ended. Okay, they are not being very specific about it. These are open-ended topics. So you cannot say that this question is out of syllabus. Okay, these questions are somehow related to syllabus because already UPSC has made the syllabus a very big, very open-ended. Okay, the sources for this: first, you have to be thorough with the geography NCERTs, again from 6 to 12, and the best book for this is Shankar IS environment book. Okay, that is the very comprehensive book regarding this environment. So you can cover basic geography as well as the climate change related, environmental pollution, conservation, everything is covered in the Shankar IS. But very important is to read newspaper, this magazine, Down to Earth magazine, and website. I would again recommend the Down to Earth website. Okay, everything that is on the website is not given in the magazine. So this Down to Earth website is also very dynamic. They cover various aspects of environment. So you should be well conversant with this Down to Earth website. Okay. Subject environment is part of this GS3 paper, and you can see GS3 paper in last 6 years most number of questions are on the environment. Okay, as compared to other subject, the questions of 170 marks are from the environment subject. Okay, so this highlights the fact that environment is very important in prelims as well as in mains. Okay, and let me tell you, take any subject and specifically geography and environment, issue of climate change is very important. Okay, very important, because of climate change, because of global warming, the world is changing. So the issues are changing, so the solutions are changing. Okay, therefore it is very important that you should study climate change in environment, in this geography also. Okay, in environment there's always going to be a question related to climate change. Okay, for example, here only, okay, climate change is a global problem. How India will be affected by climate change, how Himalayan and coastal states of India will be affected by climate change. Okay, this is very broad question. Okay, this question was asked way earlier in 2014 or 2015 only. Okay, this question you can see is very broad. You can write a lot on this question. Okay, the problem of climate change. Okay, first you need to answer, you need to substantiate this statement: climate change is a global warming problem. Okay, in the introduction only you have to highlight this fact that climate change is the global problem. IPCC report, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, fifth report established the fact that this climate change, the global warming, is anthropogenic result. Okay, there are various anthropogenic factors are responsible for this climate change. This is the established fact by the IPCC. Okay, so you can substantiate, you can directly use this IPCC reports summary findings in your introduction only. Now then now this question gets very specific, that how India will be affected by climate change. Okay, so India will be affected by climate change on various fronts. Okay, for example, because of sea level rise, okay, you can experience, the coastal cities are going to experience more number of flash floods, more number of floods. For example, Mumbai, okay, there are many cases of floods in Mumbai. Okay, and this frequency, the frequency of floods is increasing. Okay, frequency of floods is increasing coastal area as well as in the hinterland areas. As this year only you can see the cases of flood cases in Maharashtra, Kerala, flash flood cases in Gujarat, Rajasthan. Okay, then more number of cases in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. Okay, so this increase in the frequency of floods is the indication of this global climate change. Okay, then reducing productivity, land productivity, and that is because of the irregularity of monsoon. Okay, there are lots of factors which point us to the relationship between this global climate change and the monsoon. Okay, increasing irregularity of the monsoon. Okay, and for that purpose many people give the reason of deforestation. Okay, deforestation. Because of deforestation there is increase in the amount of carbon in atmosphere. Okay, and because of that there is increase in the temperature of the world, like of the whole world. It is said that Earth's temperature is increased by more than 1 degree centigrade as compared to pre-industrial era. Okay, and because of that the nature of Indian monsoon has changed, the frequency of floods has increased. Okay, also the productivity, the land productivity has reduced. Okay, so these are the problems that India is facing because of climate change, and they are being very specific. In India, how Himalayan and coastal states in India will be affected by climate change. Okay, because of global warming, the snow is melting, the glaciers are melting in the Himalayan region. Therefore there are flood problems in the downward region. Okay, downstream areas of the river. Okay, there are increased frequency of floods in northeast India, as Brahmaputra river, as Ganga river originates in the Himalayan region, and as the glaciers are melting, the input to these rivers is increasing. Therefore as the amount of water increases, there are more chances of flood in the downstream region. Okay, so these are the problems that India is facing because of climate change. Then there's a question about this wetland. What is wetland? Explain the Ramsar concept of wise use in context of wetland conservation. Okay, cite two examples of Ramsar sites in India. Okay, here you have to compulsorily draw the India's map so that you can locate the Ramsar sites in India. Okay, so first you have to define the wetland. This is the ecotonal zone between terrestrial ecosystem and the aquatic ecosystem. Then you have to give the benefits of wetland, okay, and those benefits will lead you to the concept of wise use. Okay, in this concept of wise use, you have to mention the concept of sustainable development. Sustainable development, you have to define that. You have to define the concept of wise use. What is the Ramsar Convention, why it is emphasizing on the concept of wise use, you have to define that. Okay, and in that wise use policy, how national policies, how national environmental policies are important in order to achieve that wise use policy. Okay, you have to interlink, you have to lead your answer in such a way that the examiner will feel the flow in the answer. Okay, so you have to do that. Okay, now there's one question regarding the problem of solid waste management. Okay, how what are the impediments in the disposing in huge quantities of discarded solid waste which are continuously being regenerated, and how do we remove this safely the toxic waste that have been accumulating in our habitable environment. So the issue of solid waste management. Okay, you have to enumerate various reasons for it. For example, there is no proper segregation of waste at the source. Okay, so actually this solid waste management is the multi-millionaire industry. Okay, we can create a lot of resources out of this garbage only if these are segregated. If these wastes are not segregated at source only, it creates a huge problem. Okay, it demands a lot of resources to take care of it. Okay, so that is very important, to segregate the garbage, to segregate the waste at source only. Okay, and because of that, because of non-segregation, biodegradable waste which could be degradable, it cannot be processed. And then there are some biohazardous waste in that also, which creates the which hampers the informal waste segregating industry. Okay, informal waste segregating industry. Okay, there are like if you take a bunch of solid waste, okay, you will find the biodegradable material in it, then plastics bags in it, then medical waste in it. Okay, all these kind of wastes are there in one unit. Okay, they are not segregated, which makes that solid waste unusable. Okay, its cost reduced to zero. Actually, it demands cost in order to segregate it, in order to generate a value out of it. Okay, so and another problem is there is too much focus on dealing with the plastic bag issues. Okay, there are other issues also. There are like the problem of biohazards. We need to separate that also. We need to deal with it separately. But we are focusing too much on plastic waste, so that we are neglecting, we are rejecting, we are not focusing enough on the areas from which we can generate more resources. Okay, also, as in India, the solid waste has higher moisture content. Therefore, there is a solution to deal with this problem of solid waste, the solution of conversion of waste to energy. Okay, but as the amount of moisture in solid waste is more, it has to be processed before converting it into the energy. Okay, these are the problems. There are lots of problems regarding solid waste management. You can enumerate that. Okay, and then there is a question regarding carbon credit. Okay, you need to define the carbon credit. What is the system of carbon credit? How we need to reform that carbon credit issue? Reform the carbon credit system. How can we reduce the loopholes in the system? Okay, you have to do that. Okay, now we'll get to the possible questions for this year's mains examination. Okay, first and you need to understand the areas on which the questions can be asked in environment. For example, Amazon rainforest fire. Okay, this issue got the worldwide attention. Okay, Amazon rainforests are considered as the lungs of the world. Okay, lungs of the world, and because of this rainforest fire, most of the rainforest is being destroyed. Okay, is being destroyed. Therefore, we need to conserve this forest. What are the, and when you're thinking from UPSC exam perspective, you need to understand that how UPSC might ask question on this. Okay, it might ask question regarding what will be the possible consequences of this Amazon rainforest fire. How can we replenish? Okay, another question. How can we replenish the Amazon rainforest? Okay, which we have lost in this forest fire. Okay, lots of questions can be formed. Okay, so be prepared, be thorough with the issue of this Amazon rainforest fire. Then issue of this concept of carbon footprint and carbon handprint. Okay, carbon footprint indicates the negative, carries the negative connotation, while carbon handprint is the positive, has the positive connotation. Okay, carbon footprint means how much human activity results in the emission of carbon, while carbon handprint means by human activity how much carbon emission we have saved, that otherwise if we have not done that particular activity, otherwise it would have resulted in this much carbon emission. Okay, for example, by preferring the bicycle, or by preferring walking over using the private car or the public transport system, how much would you save carbon emission? These exercises, these initiatives are come under the carbon handprint. And the carbon footprint means use of hydrocarbons, using private vehicles, how much you are responsible for the emission of carbon. Okay, how much you are responsible for the increasing amount of carbon in the atmosphere. Then the ocean pollution, issue of ocean pollution, then issue of carbon, then this United Nations Convention on Combating Desertification, UNCCD. This year, this UNCCD summit is to be held in India, in Delhi. Okay, so you need to be thorough with this issue of desertification. Okay, first you need to understand what is the definition for desertification. Okay, you need to be thorough with that. You need to understand that first. Okay, then there is one concept which is highlighted by the UNCCD for last 2 years: land degradation neutrality. Okay, you need to be clear about the definition of land degradation neutrality, you need to write that definition if there is a question regarding land degradation neutrality. Okay, for this desertification, this issue of desertification is also important. Then participation of women in fighting climate change. This is also very important. Participation of women in climate change. If you visit the website of UNCCD, there's one tab, separate tab, actions regarding the climate change. You will find lots of global initiatives, to deal with the issue of climate change. You will find various examples over there, various initiatives over. So please do visit that website. Then Great Green Wall Initiative. This Great Green Wall Initiative is related to the issue of desertification. Okay, this Great Green Wall Initiative is UNCCD funded, and it is being carried out in Africa in order to stop the spreading of desert from Sahara Desert to other parts of Africa. Okay, so we are creating a obstruction. We are creating a wall of this bushes or trees on the margin of this deserts, Sahara deserts. Okay, this will stop the desertification process. Okay, then e-waste problem is another problem, and you can definitely expect question on e-waste. For example, this year there was a report from ASSOCHAM that global volume of ES generated is expected to reach 6.8 kg per person by 2021. Okay, this is the fact, this is the a very highlighted feature of ASSOCHAM report. Okay, so you need to be thorough with this problem of e-waste. What are the possible solutions for e-waste? What are the possible present initiatives that are taken in order to deal with this problem of e-waste? Okay, so this is about the orientation of subjects geography and environment, so that I have told you about the syllabus, book source, what are the questions that are appeared in the previous year UPSC examination, and what are the possible areas on which UPSC might ask question in this examination. Okay, if you think that this subject geography and environment are quite boring, or you don't like it, or you don't understand it, try to read the geography subject, environment subject from interesting sources. Try to study it from the case study point of view, and then get to the basics. Okay, once you understand the case study, once you understand the applicability of this subject, the interest will be generated automatically. You don't have to you don't have to invest the special efforts for it. Okay, so refer these sources like Down to Earth magazine or National Geographic Channel, Britannica. Okay, so the interest will be generated. Okay, and you don't have to invest a separate time for this. But when you're just googling, or you're just surfing internet, you can search for this titles like climate change, urbanization. Okay, you will find interesting case studies for it. Okay, and you will find it very interesting, so that you don't have to specifically read for those titles in NCERTs. Okay, the interest will be generated, and you automatically understand those problems. You automatically try to logically create a chain of thought for this subject. Okay, so all the best. Okay, all the best for the UPSC prelims examination, and all the best for the preparation for this UPSC civil services examination. Thank you.